Welcome to my $100,000 stock experiment, Sell Rules, week number 33. I'm sharing my journey as I practice and develop my sell rules. This isn't an endorsement to purchase any stocks that I've bought, nor is it an endorsement to purchase stocks in general. The market direction is in correction, meaning don't buy. This is IBD rules. You also want to pay attention to your exposure. How much do you have invested in the stock market? This journey, I'm learning to implement the CAN-SLIM methodology, and it may seem strange, but I started with practicing my sell rules. I'm not building an ideal CAN-SLIM portfolio. CAN-SLIM is an acronym for growth style stock investing that you'll learn about on the investors.com website, the IBD. So you can go ahead and check that out and read more about it there. This is my learning portfolio, and I want to make it clear that this is for me to practice my selling. So I may be buying stocks at the wrong time. I might be overinvested in my portfolio when people should really be cutting back. But this is how I'm experiencing my learning. In my other accounts, I'm about 13% invested. So I've gotten out of those quite substantially. But this portfolio is about 93% invested. I sold 3 stocks this week based on if the stock falls 8% below the purchase price. I set alerts when I first purchased the stock, and I got an alert on Lulu that my stock had fallen 8% below the purchase price. But by the time I got in to sell it, it had dropped over 10%. I'm tired of losing that much, so I checked out the different order types on Fidelity.com and decided I wanted to use the stop limit order. There's lots of educational materials on Fidelity.com and on Investors.com, and I encourage you to go read about things when you have questions. I updated my sell rules for week 33, and number 2, where I'm setting a price alert, I don't do that anymore. Now I set a stop limit order at 8%, and then the lower limit is 8% less 10 cents. I do that at the time when I purchase the stock, so it automatically triggers and I don't have to keep an eye on it or think about it. On Tuesday, I went in and set up stop limit orders for 5 of my stocks. 2 of them triggered and sold, and 3 of them, as of Friday, are still open. And you can see here down at the bottom, Ulta has a stop limit at 290.05. So if it reaches that point, then the stock will sell as long as it's still above 289.95. And you can see the day that I placed that, and you can see the order is still open. I realize this won't protect me if my stock gaps down 20% at open or if the stock is falling very quickly, but I wanted to give a try at these stop limit orders, and so far I like them. Here are the charts for the 3 stocks I sold this week. The dash green is my purchase area, the dash red line is where I sold it, and the yellow line is my 8% floor. This is Lululemon. You can see I sold it slightly below my 8%. I sold Verisight for an 8% loss. And Livent Corporation, I also sold at the 8% loss. I purchased 4 stocks this week. This table shows you the stocks, their symbol, the purchase date, and where I'm going to put my loss limit order at. I captured these purchases independently in my $100,000 stock journey series, and you can check those out and look at each chart and why I purchased these stocks. Here's the bar chart for the stocks that I've just held this one week. And down at the bottom, you can see the current holdings by dollar value sorted by the lowest value on top. So the best performer there is at the bottom, IIPR, and the worst performer is Cold, which is really, I just bought it today. It doesn't really have a gain or a loss yet. And you can see on the right hand side down at the bottom the weekly change in the percentage. And again, I sort by the losers on the top. So if I take care of my losers, my theory is that the winners will take care of themselves. This is showing my current holdings by dollar value sorted by my lowest value on the top and my largest value stock on the bottom. And on the right-hand side, it's showing you the weekly change for each stock. So I've circled or squared the 4 stocks that are giving me most concern, and I'll be watching those closely in the next week. This is a holding bar chart for stocks that I've held for more than a week, and there's 4 stocks that give me concern, and I've highlighted those symbol names in red up on top. Each bar here represents a week and is the holding value at the end of the week. And that line across the middle at 9,200, that's where I cut my losses at. So you can compare these stocks to each other and from week to week and see which ones are going up and which ones are going down. Now I'm going to review the charts for each of my holdings that I've held more than a week. And I put the 4 that I'm concerned about first, and I'm going to go through them quickly. So if you want to pause them to look at the chart more, you can do that. So this is Arbor Realty Trust, which is down 3% in 8 days. Starbucks, I've held this 14 days. It's up 1%, but last week it had been up 4.7%. Ulta, this is down 4% in 8 days. And Verisk Analytics, I've held the longest. I've held that 17 days. It's up 2%, but last week it had been up 5%. Coca-Cola European Partners is a stock that I'm not concerned about right now. It's up 1% and basically flat from last week. Glacier Bancorp is also flat from last week, and Omnicell is also basically flat from last week. My benchmark is showing that I'm continuing to lose about $3,000 a week. Hopefully I can put a stop to that next week, but I'm learning a ton, and when the market gets back into a confirmed uptrend, I hope that I start seeing my value of my portfolio go up. I'm showing you my sector breakdown. Last week is in the top left-hand corner where my biggest holdings were in retail and medical. And now my biggest holding is in real estate. I've pared retail down a little bit and I've pared down medical. I've also added consumer, and where last week I had holding in chemical. And here is the breakdown by industries. At the end of week 33, I have just over $8,500 in cash. Thanks for watching. Keep an eye out for my next episode, or better yet, subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to hit the bell if you want an alert when I post a new episode.